Please welcome back Sharon Waxman and the star of The Color Purple, Danielle Brooks.
Yes.
Hi, women in the house.
Right.
We got estrogen all up in here and some testosterone. We see you. I'll let you do your thing.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're getting a lot of Danielle today because we just published a digital cover interview with her, so you got to check that out because you won't get enough from this conversation. So there'll be more and a gorgeous photo shoot. So we're getting a lot of Danielle Brooks this morning, which is great. Let's talk about this incredible performance and this incredible movie. It's probably a lot of you haven't seen it yet, but I have. And it's just like this incredible celebration of talent. And for those who haven't seen it on Broadway, it's going to be like the first time they reconnect with Color Purple in a really long time. But you played Sophia, the character, on Broadway.
I did.
As a child.
I was a baby at the time. I was 25, so a little bit about my journey with this beautiful story written by Alice Walker in 1983 was in 2005, I had won this internship to go to New York, and I got to take a parent with me, and so I took my father. And we had some downtime, and he took me to see a Broadway show. And at the time, there was only 2 Broadway shows that had black people in them, to be honest, and it was The Color Purple and Lion King. And he chose to see The Color Purple, and thank God he did, because he knew that his baby girl who loved the theater needed this moment. When I sat down in that theater and I saw an array of skin tones that looked like me activating their professionalism in that way, I was mesmerized. I sat like this, just crying in tears, and I knew, yes, I did. I was like, this is my purpose. I found a way. Because at the time, all I knew, I'm from a small town of South Carolina, I should go to say that. Very small town, and so I didn't come into Hollywood. I didn't know how to make it, per se, because there wasn't many examples of that. So just that 2-3 hours that I spent in that theater really was just, it opened up my world. It opened up a possibility of dreams for myself. And so I ended up dreaming so big, I went to Juilliard at 17 years old. I did that. Thank you, ladies. And then, went on the journey after graduating of auditioning over and over and over and hearing no. And I did not understand why, because I had done the work. Mm-hmm. And then you realize why.
What were you auditioning for? Like what kind
of
music
I was
you really
auditioning
wanted?
for, Pippin. I was auditioning for Rent off Broadway, got really, really close to doing that. Like there was a bunch of shows that I was auditioning for, and just the door kept getting shut. But now I know why, because 10 years later, 2015, I get the call to audition for The Color Purple revival. And I remember this so crazy. I remember, because I was just booked Orange is the New Black. It was like first season of Orange. And I'm sitting on the couch like this. And I'm like, and I remember they announced, they were like, Cynthia Erivo and Jennifer Hudson are going to be starring. And I'm sitting there like, I can't wait to see who Sophia's gonna be, and not having any clue and idea that I could do both.
Okay,
I ended up doing both Orange is the New Black and Color Purple on Broadway at the same time, which was really hard.
Well, Orange is the New Black is another whole saga because you said that you were only supposed to be in that show for 2 episodes, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to take a detour? Tell us about that.
Girl. I was supposed to be in that for 2 episodes. And I really, the Hollywood thing was not truly the dream. It was the theater thing. I was excited about being on a stage. I didn't care if it was regional theater. Didn't matter. But at the time, my agents hit me up and was like, there's an audition. It'll be a small part. You can go away for 2 weeks and come back and
make some money.
Make a little change. And it was like Netflix at the time was not Netflix. it was, the way that they posed it to us was like, it's going to be a streaming service. They're starting these new shows. They wouldn't even let us use the word binge watching at the time. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? And so, yeah, I went in. I had to have a page of sides to do. And I just fell in love with the character. And I guess Gingy Cohen fell in love with Tasty. And they kept me for 7 years on that show, yeah.
That's really amazing. So, all right, but we wanted to talk about what it was like to get the role of Sophia at age, was it 25, you said?
Yeah, 25.
25,
yeah.
right, after dreaming about it.
Dreaming.
Right. So what changed then? You said that you got turned down for a lot of roles.
Yes.
And what changed?
I think I had
Which can't just be luck, too.
No,
like,
it's definitely not luck. I mean,
okay.
No. There's some work
Scratch
here.
that.
I after having these auditions and not getting them, and the one thing I was taught at Juilliard, that just because you've gotten your diploma, the work doesn't stop there. There's always still more learning to do. And so I immediately got into more singing lessons, dancing lessons. So I felt comfortable when I walked into a room. But at the end of the day, I really had to surrender. I had to surrender to what was going to be for me and accept what's going to be for me and trust that if God has promised me something, I do not have to rush the fulfillment of that promise. And so I took my time. I did the internal work that I needed to do so that I could be at peace at night when I'm going to babysit somebody's child and I'm dog walking somebody's child to make that $20 to get on the subway so that I can continue my dream. It was bigger than me. And so God worked it out. Because here we are, however many years later, getting to star in the film that was, originally played by the one and only Miss Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
It's been a cool journey.
And she had some say in your being cast in this movie, right?
Yes.
So what's that relationship like, and what was it like the first time you meet her? And,
Oh my gosh. I got to meet her when I did the Broadway show, but we didn't really establish much of a relationship because, first of all, I was terrified. I was like so worried that she thought that I would want something from her, and I just didn't want her to feel that way. So I was really shy about trying to establish a relationship or even ask her about the character. But it wasn't until this, when I don't know if you've seen the Zoom, where she calls me on Zoom to give me the part, and I had no clue about this call. That's when the relationship kind of began, when she passed the baton there. And she's just been such a great light for me. She has such a huge status, but for her to still be so personable and just take me under her wing during this process and pray for me and speak over my life and just give me words of encouragement. I love that she's leaving me that example, because I know there's going to be a time where I need to do that same thing for someone else.
I'm sure you will. Okay, so let's talk about the film itself, because it is its own thing compared to the Broadway show. What was it like? What was the major differences for you? It's got these, I'm just telling you all because you haven't seen it yet, it's got these amazing sets and these incredibly huge production numbers, and Taraji P. Henson and Fantasia Barrino is in it. Well, first of all, what's it like? They're kind of powerhouses.
They're great. They're amazing.
Was
women.
that at all intimidating? And then you got Oprah in the wings. Is it intimidating, or is it just we're just going to go kill it, crush it together, because you're all so talented, each in your own right?
I think for me, being that I played Sophia for a year on Broadway, 365 days, 8 shows a week, and there's 7 days in a week. It was a lot of work. And so I feel like I knew her inside and out.
For sure.
But it is a reimaginative y'all know what I'm trying to
You
say.
said it. You got it.
Of this story by Blitz Bazawule, our director, and I know that he took his time to make sure that he was choosing women, if they were from the originals, like myself and Fantasia, who was in 2006 production, that we were open to his vision. And I was, without a doubt, because at the end of the day, you can have this vision, but I knew that he was going to stay true to what Alice Walker wrote. And that's what excited me, was getting to go deeper, you know, especially because there's been years past. And for myself, I'm now a mother. I'm a wife now. I left my wedding ring, y'all, but anyway. I'm so sad about it. But
How old's your
my
baby?
daughter's 4. She's
nice.
4. I
Sweet.
named her Freya so that she will always know that she is free in this world. Yes. But yeah, so I'm a new person. I've had more, you know, experiences now. So getting to play this, I feel like I've really gotten to like just go to the depths of who this woman is by using what I now have. And I have a lot more confidence. So I wasn't really intimidated by the talent. I was excited about these talented people, even the men, Coleman Domingo and Corey Hawkins, who plays Harpo. We went to Juilliard together in the same class.
Kidding. What?
Same class, and they only accept 18 a year. So that's a huge deal.
God.
I fought for this part. I was like, we gonna play husband and wife. Yeah, but
I
like,
mean, it's also, I have to say, like, it's also very funny. You know, the interplay between the two of you.
Yeah.
Because so much of the film is about the subjugation of women and taking their power back. And you represent that
strength,
claiming of
resilience,
that.
claiming, don't take no mess. I just love her so much because the thing about us as women, oh my God, we carry a lot. There is so much weight on our shoulders. Just having a child alone, you are an alarm clock, a chauffeur, a private chef, a hairstylist, like you, a private shopper. You know, I mean, you do it all, and that's just one job. Don't add your husband on top of that. Or your spouse, your wife, whatever. Like, it's a lot of work just
And
the
then your
day-to-day.
actual job.
And your actual job.
Right.
It's a lot. So getting to play Sophia.
By the way, I can just say one thing because I'm past it.
Yeah, yeah.
Your 30s are friggin' exhausting.
I'm exhausted,
Yeah.
okay?
I mean, you don't look it. But
Thank you.
Right.
You to my makeup artist as well. But yeah, it's exhausting, but I love that she is so strong and so resilient. And but the reason I say all that is we have moments, and it is okay to have moments where we can't hold it all, where we want to give up, we want to throw in the towel, and we will. But the thing about being the strongest bird, even though they fall, they still have their wings, and they can learn how to get back up again. And I love the story of Color Purple because one of the things Suge Avery says is it gotta piss God off to walk past the color purple and not notice it. And I think what she's saying is, no matter how much is going on in your world and how many distractions there are, if you can find a moment to find the beauty in something, to find the beauty in, I don't know, sitting here with you and these diamonds. I don't know what it is. It's just finding the beauty in the fact that we have breath. You got clothes on your back. You got food on your table. You've got, somebody drove you here or you got yourself here safely. Finding just the beauty in the small things, even through your storm, is what this story is going to remind people. And I hope, especially with the character of Sophia, that you really learn how to say hell no, which is going to be the women's anthem, I'm telling you, which is Sophia's theme song.
So great, yeah.
You're going to learn that one real quick. To learn to say hell no, but to find that beauty and to give yourself grace and to find moments where you can find the laughter and the joy. I feel like that's what she brings. It's that reminder of like, even when you fall, you can get back up and still get your laugh back. You know, get that joy back, get that spunk back. That's what I think.
So it's interesting because when we were chatting ahead of this interview, you mentioned that you were shy.
I was.
So I mean, if this is
Come
shy,
a long way.
so you've
Yeah, because
come
I
into
think
your
people
own.
think when you're an actor, you just got this spunk about you. Like, you just got it. And that's not true. I watched a lovely actor yesterday receive the Critics' Choice Award. You know, he's slated to be Oscar nominated, and he held his paper shaking the entire time.
Wow.
And I felt him because I've been that person. Like, what we do, that's acting is like we're putting on somebody. You know, it's like, it's not who we are. And then to get to sit up here and like talk and you see all these eyeballs on you. A few years ago, this room would have terrified me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But through practice, through continuing to not give up and consistency, continuing to watch and learn from other people, like people I admire, the Viola Davises in the world, like Lupita, that's my girl, but I admire the way she carries herself, Miss O, you know, just you just gotta pay attention to that, but also give yourself grace within this, that you don't have to be perfect. I'm Virgo, so like perfection lives in my body, or try to, and it's not a thing. I can't be perfect. And so once I let that go, I'm able to sit up here and be on the couch laid out like this in front of y'all, because I'm me. You know, I don't feel like, I think we have to like stop trying to be someone we're not, and feel like we have to impress people so much. Yeah, like you gotta live, and I think that's where you'll find your power too. Totally. And you'll liberate other women to do the same, and that's dope.
So, you know, you're in a film that's based on a story by a Black woman, has 3 Black leads, has Black producers. We are incredibly blessed to have at this conference and in previous years many incredibly talented women of color who are, Ava DuVernay is speaking this afternoon. Tell me what you think about how representation matters still, and if it does, because let's just say you've arrived, Ava's arrived, Taraji's arrived, Oprah has Uber arrived, right? Like there's only one of her, okay, like single name people, there's only like a couple of them. So, and, right, so should we say, well, we're there, we're good, like we have an open playing field. Okay, so why does it matter to you?
No, it matters so much. Because also, yes, representation matters, we know that, right? But then there becomes a thing of like, it can only be one sometimes, or you feel pinned against each other sometimes. And I think that's until we all feel like seen enough or heard enough, I feel like we still have way more work to do. And I'm a testament of that because of the story I shared with you all about being in The Color Purple, or not being in The Color, but seeing The Color Purple and seeing so many different shades. Being able to see over 20 plus Black people on a stage and not just that one gave me hope that there is a space. Because where I came from in my high school, where I lived on campus and it was an art school, I was the only Black girl in my class.
In South Carolina?
In South Carolina. And so when I was auditioning for Juilliard, I was like, oh man, when I was going in and you start to see the other kids from different states, you know, audition, I was like, oh my God, there's other Black girls here. I don't know if I can do this, because I remember that girl won an art competition and I didn't win that competition, and that girl won it. I'm not gonna make it.
Because there's only
Because
one
there's
spot?
only one spot. And then when I went to Juilliard, it was only 2 black girls in my class.
Really?
But that opened another door for me to understand there's room for more. There's room for, and then the other classes, I'm seeing 3, 4 black girls in that class, and we got an Asian sister over here and a Hispanic girl over there, some boy from Iceland over there. I was like, this is dope. This is a reflection of the world we live in.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just want us to get to that point, really reflecting the world that we live in. You know? Yeah.
Well, I just think that all the work you're doing, both in the Orange is a New Black and your work on Broadway and in this film, it does do all of that. And hearing you articulate it today just makes it all the more powerful. So thank you, Danielle,
Thank you
for
for
being
having
here.
me so
Amazing.
much. Thank you to
Purple,
TheWrap.
go see it.
Yeah, thank y'all. Go see the film. Go see the
Yeah.
film.
Thank you.